Alright, we're back for another quick one here. I wanted to show you, I've been wanting to do a video about these for a while, and this is a Netherland Dwarf, and it is a variety that has been worked on for quite some time. There's been a lot of people that have been working on it, and we've been playing with it, trying to get the color, really kind of the variety off the ground. It is one that we call Champagne, and if you look at the nose on this one, you'll kind of get the idea why they call these Champagnes. And if you're not familiar with the Champagne d'Argents, the silvering that you see in the breed is very similar to what we have here. The coloration, especially with the nose right there, and he's such a cute guy. This is what we call full Champagne. Now, the color genetically, if you're interested in this color genetically, you can go search on one of our other videos in the Genetics 101 series that talks about silvering. Silver is, this guy on his quality as type isn't terrible. He's not a show rabbit by any means. And that's because we just don't have a lot of them. It requires you have the right genetics for this color. You can't create this just out of black versus whatever. You're not going to get this. You've got to have the silvering gene, and this is an example of a full Champagne. Full Champagnes, the way I understand it, is they are carrying 2 copies of the SI, which is the recessive trait, to get this to present. And it can come in a lot of different ways. You can get full Champagne, like this one. You can get one that is like a half marking, or what we call mids, and then you can also get what we call light marking. Now, these rabbits are born entirely black. They don't get this silvering until they get some age on them. I start to see it usually around 2.5, 3 months. We start to see some silvering. It really doesn't really start to really take hold until they're a little bit older. And it just seems to be what we've found trying to get this guy to pose. Now, he can pose if he just wants to, but he's just being a fussball about it. Wants to be kind of a flat guy. He's got some really good things about him. He's in molt right now, so he's just covering me in fur. But these Champagnes, he's just a sweetheart. He's a relaxed guy. He's got really good ears. They're folded, a little pointy, but they have good thickness. He's got good width of head. He's just really been a great sire for us in producing. Thank you for chins. Yes, I'm yours. I know this. He's just a fun guy to have around, and with him molting, it's just really hard to show him off the full true color of what these guys can be. When we breed this to a solid black that has no silvering gene involved, we typically are getting very light marked, if anything at all. Generally, we just don't get anything at all until we get one that carries a gene involved, and then we get this either full, mid, and there's probably 3 genotypes that are 3 alleles that we don't know about, whether it be SI1, SI2, SI3 gene that dictates how much silvering is there. Now, these guys calls for a mid Champagne. You take this rabbit to a mid Champagne, you're going to get probably mid Champagne, or you can get full Champagne like this one. These are very similarly How silver fox, if you're familiar with that breed at all, it's the same genetics. The same thing will happen in that breed. You can get a very heavy marked rabbit. You can get a light marked rabbit. Oh, I know, dig it up. And you can also get a mid marking, a light marking, all those sorts of things. Markings is half the battle with this color. Type is your other battle, but that's with every color. It's just that this one is just really difficult. If you do choose to do Champaign, you're going to have to really be committed to doing it. It's not something that you can mix in with your other breeds or rather your other colors. You don't want this gene running around in your oranges or anything like that. You really want to get these guys, um, keep these guys separate from all that. It's just very important. If you do choose to use your high quality blacks in creating more of these, the thing you need to be watchful of and mindful of is that you don't want anything running around in the background, and understand that anything that you get out of that kind of a pairing is got to go right back into this kind of a program. You can't be selling it, oh well, it's a black, and have that silvering back there without telling a customer or who's using that, because it can, you don't want this kind of stuff popping up in your oranges, and it just creates a lot of mess. So it's best to just use those solid blacks with no chocolate, no shadeds, no chinchilla running around. They need to be pretty clean genetically to introduce to this color. Now, he's a very active guy. He's a very sweet guy, but he really does like to dig, as you can see. But that's what makes Netherland Dwarf what they are. They're just a lot of fun, and of course, he's got to go through and check everything out and make it all his with his chin. He's got to make sure it's all acceptable. But he's just been a fun guy. We've had this guy for a couple of years, and he's produced some pretty rabbits, and we're going to continue to use him until he's going to retire here, probably in the next year or two. So we're hoping we can further development of this color with the quality of type that this guy has. And so what I'm going to do, now that you've seen what a Champaign Netherland should look like, or what a full Champaign looks like, I'm going to grab a youngster. Well, not really a youngster, she's an adult now, but one that is not a heavy mark, and I'll give you an opportunity to see what the difference is in the marking. Now these Champagnes, this is a doe, and you'll notice on her, I'm going to get her up here in the light so you can see, you'll notice that ticking is just on the tips of the hairs, and that is really kind of what we want on the whole rabbit. A nice, evenly balanced marking over the rabbit. You can go look up silver fox rabbits. You'll pick up pictures all day long. The ideal marking we want is this one. The challenge is you want to get it on the whole body, and you'll notice on her head she lacks a lot of that ticking. So it's just not consistent over the body. She has good width, she has good hindquarter, she's a nice broody doe. She's got, again, decent ear thickness, a little scissored in those ears, but she's, again, one of those that you're going to have in development. This is what we would call a mid-Champaign, in my opinion. Again, we're talking about opinions, so some people might say that she's a light mark, but I honestly believe she's a mid-marked Champaign. Beautiful rabbits. They almost look like steels, but it's just a totally different genetic makeup on these rabbits. If you blow into the fur in these rabbits, you will not see agouti lines or agouti rings in the fur. They are what they are. But we just need to keep working on it, and that's the problem, and why it's taken so long, really, to get this variety to the level that it needs to be consistent. And because you have to prove that you can recreate this genetically time and time again. I know you're just like another one I had. Wanted to look around, but fun little doe. She's always up and excited about her visit every morning and every night. But just working with these guys and having fun with them is what it's about. And getting the opportunity to work in this color has been one fun and long ride. So it's not a temperature sensitive color or anything like that. Again, it's just finding the stock to work on them. She does want to try to pose a little bit. She's just too big. She's probably on the order of closer to 3 pounds, 2 pounds, 14 ounces, almost 3 pounds. But she's a beautiful rabbit, and that's what she's got part of that stuff going on. She just doesn't have it all quite wrapped together there. And that's where you have to import blacks, and you have to prove that they are what they are and that they're not hiding anything. And then that's just a challenge in itself. And so we've used a lot of our own blacks that we know what's going on in their background, that they are clean from some of the things that we don't want running around. I know you're going to take a bath. So, but I wanted to throw this variety up there. It was really hard to find a lot of good videos that really explained this variety, and especially in Netherland Dwarf. But you can see that nice, beautiful ticking there on the body, and you really see it right there in the light that way, and how it should look across the entire body, and that's what you want. So, and this is the density of color you want back here. Again, have it full up on the head too. Hi, sweetie. I know. So, just wanted to throw that out there. And again, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more varieties, we're going to try to do some more varieties. We're going to actually try to do them all over the course of the next couple of weeks, few months, because Netherland Dwarf has just an amazing number of varieties, and we want to do a kind of a little segment on every single variety out there, so that you can kind of get an idea of what the variety should look like, and how the colors should be represented, so that you can become better breeders, or if you're interested in certain colors that maybe you haven't seen before. So until next time, have a great one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you next time.